Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. For this show, I'm going to go over some local articles that came out and some local topics, and also I'm going to jump into some national topics as well. So let's start off with Zillow. Just came out with an article, the 10 hottest areas or cities for 2025, and Philadelphia was number 5. So if you're a realtor out there, let everybody know. Now, what were they looking at? They were looking at how quickly real estate sells, also the appreciation or what they figure appreciation would be or estimating it would be, and then also affordability. So Philadelphia was ranked 5th in the nation. Be sure to tell your people, look up the article. Once again, the 10 hottest markets for 2025. Also, U.S. News and World Reports, they came out with an article, and they have undervalued homes. Now, what they look at for undervalued homes would be debt to income ratio. How much of your paycheck does it take to buy that home in a specific city or metro? Now, Philadelphia was number 3 on that list. Nationally, it takes 36% for people's paycheck to go towards your mortgage payment. Now, Detroit was number 1 at 17% of somebody's paycheck goes towards the mortgage. Cleveland was number 2 at 19.1, and Philadelphia was number 3 at 19.9, which sort of makes sense with the affordability part of the Zillow article. And now we're looking here with this article coming out, undervalued home sales, Philadelphia, number 3. Also, we have the PA legislature passed Act 52. Okay, and this is for the entire state, Act 52. And what does that do? It regulates wholesaling. So now wholesalers have to do some things like, number 1, register with the state. So by registering with the state, now the state can keep track of them. Also, they have to get a license, very similar to a license if you want to be a realtor or a broker. So that means you have to look into the real estate law, ethics, continuing education. So you have to get licensed and you have to register as a wholesaler. Also, disclosures. The disclosures are huge. So you as a wholesaler have to let the seller know that you are a wholesaler and that you are going to assign the home to somebody else, to one of your investors. Now, by signing that, you also have to state how much money you're going to be making, what profit, and the seller can cancel at any time. So once again, as a wholesaler, you have to disclose you're a wholesaler that you are now going to assign the contract to somebody else, and you have to let the seller know the profit that you're going to be making. So the last thing is the penalties. Now, because you are registering and you are also have a license at stake, now you're under the preview of the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission. So now the Real Estate Commission can do all the things they can do to a regular realtor. And some of those are fines, suspending your license, and legal actions. So wholesaling, as of January 1, 2025, is different. You have to be licensed, you have to disclose. So you have to be transparent, and that's what they want, transparency on it. So now let's jump into national numbers and national stats. Well, the number of homes that had price cuts nationally hit a 7-year high. And we're talking about 23% of all homes that hit the market nationally have a price cut, okay? And we have not seen a January with price cuts that high since January of 2018. So there are price cuts. So that means the market's a little softer. Also, inventory jumped 11.5%. Now, inventory really didn't jump crazy. There's not like a ton of houses sitting in the market. It's really the demand, buyers. There's so little buyers in the market right now that inventory is building up a little bit. We're going to see what's going to happen as we hit the spring market. We had a tough winter, and also interest rates being over 7%, all of December and January. So we have some headwinds as far as the affordability. And of course, when we look at these national statistics, real estate's local. So what's going on in your local area is going to be vastly different, because we have states like Florida and Texas that really equate to a huge amount of inventory and price cuts where you may not in your local market see as much. And Phoenix is a big city that is seeing a lot of this. Tampa, Jacksonville, Dallas, things like that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to jump into is real estate commissions. Real estate commissions post the NAR settlement. So we all know that NAR settled, and when it implemented their new rules as far as listing commissions on the MLS, that kind of thing, right? And that was in August. So we have Accutech. They did a study month by month for the past 5 months. So we're talking September, October, November, December, and January. And they compared each one of those months in 2023 to 2024 to see if there was any difference in commissions. Now, what they did is they looked at over 1,200 offices nationwide, which ended up being a little bit over 220,000 transactions. So it was a pretty big sample, 220,000 transactions, a big sample size. So if we turn around and we looked at September of 2024, the average commission that a seller was paying their agent, because this is broken down sellers and buyers, but that percent was 2.77. And if we looked at that September of 2023, it was 2.75. So basically the same. And I'm going to post these numbers on the screen so you can check them out. And it's pretty much identical, no change. January, 2.8 commissions to buyers or to sellers agents, where it was 2.77 in 23. So they're within a couple of 0.3 percentage away from each other. So super close. And on the buyer side, same thing. These numbers really didn't change. They're 2.55 buyers, agents are getting commissions in 2024, and in 2023, it was the same thing. So very little change when it comes to the commissions. We all know commissions were always negotiable, and they're still negotiable. And it looks like they're trending basically the same. If you as an agent say, hey, this is my worth, this is what I'm charging, well, then that's what you're worth. And if you are worth it, a buyer or seller will pay that. Now, I'll leave you with one last item. I spoke to an agent recently, or a broker recently, had over 100 agents in their office, and they just did a review of 2024, and they saw in 2024, they did not have one transaction where the seller did not pay a commission to the buyer. Once again, over 100 agents in that office, and there wasn't one transaction. Now, understand, real estate is local. If you're in a super hot market where you have multiple offers, you have cash buyers, of course, you're going to have negotiation and you may have sellers not paying commissions. But in general, you still have sellers paying the commissions, because what do they want? They want to sell the home, number one, and they want to net out the highest price. And by paying a commission, generally, that's what happens. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed some of the topics. And that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe. That really helps me out. Do some likes, helps out the algorithm. Super important. And leave a comment. Tell me if you think any of these statistics are interesting, or what kind of show topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Remember, this show is everything real estate, no limits. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.